a lot of it, a lot of the stuff you're talking about with LeBron, all these narratives. The only time I really had an issue with him was with the. It seems like an orchestrated attack on Kobe's career, right?
When
Have
would you
you?
say that that started? When do you think that was prevalent or apparent?
I mean, the media's always kind of been doing it, but I think it really turned up after 2020 because,
Okay, so in the
listen,
later
I'm
era.
not. Yeah, I'm not a YouTube guy. I didn't know anything about technology or anything like that, but they were coming after this guy from the moment he got buried, and I had to make content, and I'm like, a lot of these narratives, man. Like, it's okay to critique him because he's not here, but it's not okay to make up your own reality about somebody's career. You know what I mean? And I seen a couple of your videos dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Calling this stuff out on how, on the things that people were saying that weren't true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's my only issue. Other than that, before that, man, growing up in 2000 in the 2000s, bro, we just watched the game and we were quiet. Right? This is the most we ever talked about the GOAT debate ever. You know what I mean? So like we just watched the games and we loved Kobe. We watched LeBron. We weren't hating on LeBron in the 2000s. At least I wasn't. And we just watched the games, bro. We watched Dwayne Wade and we cheered for these guys because they were great. You know what I mean?
I
And
think
then it
once
just
I think once LeBron, the camp, the group, so like Rich Paul and these guys, they have a vested interest in LeBron being perceived as the greatest player of all time. Like, it's part of the marketing, it's part of the branding. So if you can convince people that he's the greatest, you've elevated your guy, right? And he's got the rings, he's got the MVPs, he's got a lot of the same accomplishments as MJ. So it makes sense for there to be comparisons just to like the novice viewer, listener, whatever the case may be. But for folks that don't agree with that position, it's only created more venom to be sent back his way, right? And especially when it's become clearly apparent that the same things that were happening for Jordan, right? The media narratives, he's the GOAT, it's not even close, best champion we've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. Those are the
yeah.
same things that LeBron is deploying now. It's crazy how eerily similar, like the way that Jordan became the quote unquote GOAT is the way
Yeah.
that LeBron is trying to also become the GOAT. They're trying to create this like God aura. Do you see what I'm
Yes,
saying?
that's exactly what it is. Cause like,
These guys are they're all flawed. They're humans.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, in my opinion, the worst leadership style is Michael Jordan's. It is the worst way to get the best out of people. To get the best out of people, you have to create and nurture an environment that allows people to achieve beyond what they normally could.
yeah,
Michael Jordan was mean, nasty, and you know what? LeBron is not perfect. He was very passive aggressive with teammates throughout his career. These guys are flawed.
yeah,
They're not teachers. Like, teachers are taught to nurture and support. These guys are just great players. I would not recommend someone to say study Michael to become a great leader. No.
yeah,
If you're trying to become a vocal leader, a demonstrative leader, you have to find a guy who's got coach like qualities, right? That can manage personalities and stuff like that. So my point is they're following the blueprint. Michael was a manufactured god or a player who had all the things that you needed to be considered one of the greatest of all time. LeBron's doing the same thing now.
because to me, right, like the greatest leader of all time to me is Bill Russell, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Then you go to Magic, uh, but like even I can admit like Kobe's leadership style sometimes rubbed people the wrong way, right? Like we all know it was hit or miss, right? Some people loved it, some people hated it. That's reality, right?
Right.
And so the thing is that when I get so upset of with a lot of crazy, not the casual LeBron fans, but the the super fans, right? What I get upset with is they act like Kobe didn't go through the same thing. Being compared to Mike, the media crushed Kobe every chance they got, man. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Kobe was facing that comparison his whole career. You know what I mean? And the media came after him hard. You know, every time you hear a conversation, they say, "Well, he's not this, he's not that, he's not this," comparing him to Mike, right? And so one thing that I seen Kobe do was Kobe embraced it, and to me, he proved all the critics wrong. But they're still continuing this narrative, right? Of he can't win without Shaq and all that stuff. He had the burden, and I go through his whole career. His career was a lot of situations he was in. There was nothing he could have done to change people's minds. I mean, nothing. If he scored 50, he was a ball hog. If he passed the ball, why is he passing too much?
Mhm.
If he won with Shaq, well, that's not good enough. Even though you won with Shaq, go win on your own, right? So, like, I understand what you're saying about the whole Michael Jordan shadow. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I kind of get it, but I think there's some revisionist history to the game, just in general. You know what I mean?
I do. The skill set's undeniable. Very few players have the combination of what LeBron brought to the table in one single box, right? In one setup. He's so great at so many things, and the achievements individually and then as a team, when you look at the teams he played for, the accomplishments, the awards, the statistical relevance, the dominance over the decades, he has it, right? He's got all those things. No credible publication has Kobe over LeBron. I don't agree with that. I think there's plenty that do. Right or wrong, they do. My guy Bruiser Sue, leave my king alone. What up, bro? Jordan's leadership was better, very lethal, but it gives results. But his leadership alienated his teammates, right? And who knows? Maybe they win 7 rings. Maybe they win 8 rings if he did things differently. You never know, right? LeBron only have trade mates and throws everybody under the bus. I hear that thrown around quite a bit. There are some teammates who speak very highly of LeBron. I think when you play on a LeBron team, you do see players getting moved quite a bit. And like I said, it's part of the thing that comes with the territory. Um, if you're on a team and then LeBron goes to that team, it's probably sucks. But if you go to a team that has LeBron on it, then you kind of know what you're signing up for. Bruiser Sue said Jordan was a bully to the weak. Kind of noticed that. Yeah, which that's what bullying is, right? It literally has that quality or characteristic. Woodage chimes in. I remember John Sally saying he would never practice with Magic. I never heard him say that. That must have been like an interview or in a podcast. Maybe you could let me know where that's said. Where did LeBron play any part in downing Kobe? I don't know. Has LeBron ever said anything directly at Kobe? I know that Kobe kind of dogged LeBron in some All-Star games. I know that a lot of people believe that when Kobe was in his prime, even in his later prime years, that Kobe was much more skilled, much better. He had obviously already won 5 championships at that point. LeBron had 0. You know what I mean? So maybe there was some of those elements that maybe LeBron felt compelled to spin a narrative or whatever, but that would be speculative. I don't know about any of that stuff being confirmed. He would never step to Oakley or Xavier McDaniel. Yeah, that would be a losing proposition. You'd be getting your ass beat, right? Yeah, there were definitely confrontations. Jordan was never pushed over by anyone, right? He was always a game fighter. You know what I mean? Media, Clutch Sports destroyed Westbrook. LeBron did nothing for his trade mate. Yeah, look, Russell Westbrook is a reckless player. He plays with an incredible pace, an incredible motor. He's turnover prone. He's not a reliable shooter. LeBron knew that in acquiring him and bringing him to the Lakers. I'm not sure why, he would feel compelled to try to, you know, deny that or argue that or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But they got exactly what Westbrook was. He didn't play any different for LA than any other team. Young Disciple says, what does LeBron have to do with the media members? So in my estimation, Young Disciple, I think star players have a lot of influence on the media. I believe that Jordan had a heavy influence on the media. I believe LeBron does as well. I'm not naive. I can clearly see the direction that the conversations go within the media and the narratives they try to set up. So I don't know if that's something you don't see or if you're in denial about it. If you really don't see it, then I would say you're naive. If you're just in denial about it because you love LeBron, that's your decision. But star players have heavy influence over the media. That is undeniable. It's been like that since day one, especially starting with Michael Jordan.